Greetings, everybody. Let me just adjust the camera angle up a little bit. There we go. I apologize for the background noise. We're currently in the midst of doing some work here on the land to make it an ideal place. Oh, so pick a better spot. So we are here at the new place I live at. We're in midst of doing a large land project because this is one of the few patches of old growth that's left in the beautiful state of Oregon. I would love to think of what this state looked like, pre-colonization. I can just imagine how beautiful it must have been. It's you wander through this ancient forest and you think that, wow, this whole area used to be like that. And then, as you're getting into these projects, these land management plans, you start realizing how many different invasive and non-native species there are and how they act and interact with this new environment that is not their traditional home. And, it just really puts things into perspective as far as we humans and our role on this earth. Something I jokingly say with my classes all the time is, the age-old question, what is the meaning of life? It's funny how we are arguably the most advanced animal there is, right? We've got all these crazy inventions. I'm streaming live to you from my backyard in the middle of nowhere. We hop in our metal boxes that are capable of driving or moving faster than we can on our 2 feet. Yet we still ponder what the hell our purpose is. If you look around, if you truly look at nature and the more than human world, you can look at a being for, sometimes as quick as 5 seconds. Some may take you a few days, but if you look at that being, it just naturally fulfills whatever its role is supposed to be. Bees pollinate plants. Certain plants feed herbivores. There's just the intensity of the level of the depth of the onion that is nature, layer upon layer upon layer of teachings. It is infinite. But we humans, we think we know best. So we come in with our machines and we cut things down and plant other things because they're more profitable. And before you know it, here in Oregon, it's a relatively young state. Before you know it, you've got a landscape that's beautiful, but most of it looks absolutely nothing like it did, pre-Columbian. From what I'm told, and this is, from only having lived here for a very short time, that, the whole area that I live in used to be, oak savanna, which is kind of oak trees, grasslands, that sort of stuff. And now it's not that at all. We got out here to the West Coast. We needed timber to fuel industry, so we cut trees. And then they quickly realized that the Douglas fir, which also happens to be Oregon's state tree, they realized that Doug fir, it grows tall and it grows quick. So they just pretty rapidly started clear cutting forests and planting Doug firs. Now they have a genetically modified version of the Doug fir. So now they clear cut an area with chemicals, which the area they cut is usually above a small town. All those chemicals run downhill, get into the earth blood, the blood of Earth Mother, the rivers and the streams, get into our drinking water. And then they plant this Douglas fir that's resistant to the herbicide they spray. So you just get these huge stands of monocrop trees. And when that happens, you know, nature in its quest to forever seek balance, you know, now there's a type of conch mushroom that when it attaches itself to Doug fir trees, it pretty quickly kills them when they're planted too close together. So yeah, that was a bit of a rant there. Hey, Core Dog making her inaugural appearance on the T3 Future Nature Power Hour. But yeah, so you know, with this first episode, I wanted to just ramble a little bit. I'm getting comfortable with the setup that I have going on. I finally figured out a way to use my real camera that I take my photos with as a webcam to get better quality. So yeah, so even though there's nobody out there watching this right now, poor sad face, I am going to continue to do these until I don't anymore. So yeah, so and I plan on it being a multifaceted show. You know, sometimes it'll be just me talking. Other times I may be demonstrating a skill. Other times I may show you some pre-recorded stuff I saw that day. Maybe interviews with other educators I know. Yeah, it's really going to be a smorgasbord of all sorts of stuff. But you know, more importantly, I want to take time to thank you all, you know, for your love and support. You know, I've been an outdoor educator my whole life, but really only seriously for the last 20 years when I came back to my dad's place. And those of you I've met over the years who have become friends, you know, I can feel the love and support from all of you as I embark on this new adventure of, you know, trying to set up Future Nature and T3 photography, and my, you know, omnipresent vision of leading as many people as I possibly can back to nature. You know, we humans need nature now more than ever. You know, it has been scientifically proven that just 5 minutes a day outside can improve your overall health. So imagine what 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour could do for you. And, you know, something that has been shown to me time and time again is that I have watched people come to a class looking like a ghost, and by the end of it they have this sparkle in their eyes that they didn't have before. They're completely transformed people, whereas they may have you know, been introverts. Now all of a sudden they're extroverts, and they take that sparkle home with them, and pretty soon their friends pick up on it, and they start sharing some of the skills they learned over the weekend of the class. And that's, you know, one of the ways we want the continual passing on of these skills to go. Yeah, I've gotten letters from people who told me that, they were very close to suicide, and upon somehow coming across one of my dad's books and deciding to take a class, they realized that that void that was within them, that they were filling with all sorts of things, leading them to be not healthy in mind, body, or spirit. That void became filled with the wonderfulness of nature. And when you allow nature to fill you and heal you, it's pretty powerful. And I've seen it time and time again. I can't tell you how many times after teaching somebody, the fox walk, how they afterwards in tears saying that, for the first time in 10 years, I'm not in pain when I walk, when I move this way. We, as complex as we are, that's part of the reason for our downfall. We've got simple machines and you have complex machines, and we are incredibly complex machines. We are, our species, Homo sapiens, depending on who you talk to, couple 100,000 years old. What a lot of people don't realize is we are still meant to live in in a natural setting. And in just a short period of time, that, Garden of Eden style life, to cramming ourselves into cities, filling our faces with technology. Our technology has far outpaced our evolution. And, you'd think in this age of instant connection, that people would be much happier, but they're not. People have never felt more lonely. I've been to places and lived in places before where, people have been living together on the same street for 30 years and never introduced themselves to each other. It's just flabbergasting. That was a reality. We're also communal animals. One thing as a teacher of wilderness survival, and you all know how much I hate that word. I often find it funny when you show people the skills that our ancestors used to live off the land. It's amazing to watch that, the transformation I talked about earlier. But another positive effect of learning these skills that I teach is it helps you to be more self-reliant. 99% of the people out there, if they were removed their smartphones and their vehicles and their electricity, and their nice clean water that comes out of the tap when they want it to, if all that stuff were shut off instantly, they would most likely panic and die within a short period of time. But when just sitting here talking to the camera, I can count at least 10 different edible plants. I know where the animals are this time of day. If I needed to get some protein, I know how to build a myriad of different shelters out of the materials that are within 100 feet of me. I know where the two nearest water sources are that are not from the tap just inside my house. So the more you learn how to take care of yourself, the more free you are. We talk a lot about freedom in the Western world, how good it is to be free. Yeah, freedom. You're not free. None of us are free. There are invisible shackles that connect us to the internet service provider that's bringing you this signal, to the grocery store, to the electric company, to the gas station. True freedom is the ability to walk off into the wilderness with little or no tools, either by yourself, or with a group. Highly recommend doing it with a group. Being able to walk into the woods and live for the rest of your life perfectly fine. That is true freedom. Last thing I'm going to say before I wrap it up, and also be covering this in my webinar I'm running this Saturday. By the way, there's still that 15% off everything T3 sale going on. I think it ends at midnight tonight. So 15% off all my classes, photo prints, custom prints. So I would get on there and get on that, because I think the sale shuts down at midnight tonight Pacific time. But yeah, living in nature, even in the most ideal time of year, in the most ideal place, is incredibly difficult, even to a highly skilled individual such as myself. And if I had the 10 other, great wilderness of the world around me right now, they would all tell you the same thing. The only, I tell my classes that the reason you're sitting here right now in this point in space and time is because somewhere far back in your lineage, you had hunter-gatherer ancestors that were so intimately connected with their surroundings, they could make anything they needed, from shelters to tools. The secret, though, is there was a group of them, division of labor. You'd wake up in the morning, 3 people would go hunting, 3 people would go fishing, 3 people would stay around camp and work on things there. Then at the end of the day, you would gather back together and share what you had foraged, talk about the day, talk about the next day. But yeah, when you have to be out there by yourself, even in the most ideal of conditions, when you need to provide yourself with shelter, water, fire, and food, even with a high skill level, it's still incredibly difficult. So that's why I encourage you, seek out some knowledge. I'll be putting up all sorts of free stuff. There's free stuff on the channel here, but you've got things like my master class, which you can get from my website by going on there. You've got Jesse's masterclass on the real masterclass website. There's tons of good learning to be had for free these days. Just be careful. The boom in popularity of survival-based TV shows has caused it to become an industry. So with that, there's a lot of people out there that are just looking to capitalize on that, the popularity of wilderness survival, and stuff like that. So be careful, pick your teachers well, and never have just one teacher. When, like me, you wake up every morning and choose to approach your day with an empty cup, you realize that everyone and everything you come into contact with throughout your day can be your teacher. But with these skills, with skills of self-reliance, wilderness survival, ancestral living skills, whatever, seek out as many teachers as possible. You can also go on my website. I have a list of trusted organizations all around the world that I know the people running them personally, and I know them to be top notch. And I'm actually in the process of redoing that section of my website. So yeah, so there's a good resource there. Well, that's all I got now. Thank you for sitting, listening to your ramble for the last 20 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more of these, so stay tuned, y'all. Until next time, peace and love. Get your ass outside. Later.